Good morning, beautiful ones. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. I'm going to sing my own music. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's grace than when we first begun. Good morning. I'm not allowed to play music on here, so I thought I would sing. You guys, what's your favorite churchy song? I love Amazing Grace. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Uncommon Woman Ministry Live this morning. It's Friday. Buenos dias. You guys, I have got such a good message for you this morning. I did some research last night, and it's going to blow your mind. So for those of you who are new in this space, welcome to Uncommon Woman Global Ministry Live. My name is Romy Marlowe. I'm the founder of Uncommon Woman, which is an empowerment platform and a faith ministry for women. And I've been doing this work for almost 11 years. I can't even believe it. Good morning, Alita. Good morning, Tabitha. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Anita. Good morning, Trini. So I have been doing this work for about 11 years. And the focus of my work has always been women, thus Uncommon Woman. By the way, these tank tops. So this is my vintage tank top, Uncommon Woman. This is my OG logo. Isn't it gorgeous? They're so soft. They were made in Nepal. They were screen printed by hand by the women and the men who were hired to create these beautiful, beautiful tank tops. I have several. I don't know that I have any larges, but I definitely have extra small, small, medium. I think I have a few XLs and double XLs left. Large seems to be like a really common size. So if you love this tank top, and by the way, I like knotted it, but let me see if I can show it to you. See how nice and long it is? So that for those of us women who don't want little shorty short tank tops that don't do us any justice, because, you know, our bodies change as we get older. And also, not everybody wants a shorty short tank top. So these are my original tanks. They are stunning. I like to just tie it up and make it fun like that. And you can do that in the summer. But anyway, if you want a tank top, they're $35. And they are so gorgeous. I have them in this color, which is like cappuccino, I like to call it. And then there's another one that's like a really pretty gray, like almost like a slate gray. They are super light cotton. They're high quality cotton from Nepal. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. From Nepal. They're not bought on Amazon. And all of the fronts were screen printed by hand. That's a true story. And the thing is, the woman who designed them is actually a designer. And she created a whole line of clothing for Uncommon Woman several years ago. And I bought a truckload of it. And I have some left. And they are so beautiful. Now, I don't have any merch online yet. But you know what, Alita? Leave that there. Because right now, I keep telling my web designer, I'm doing it. But I wanted to update the pictures that I have. The professional pictures are beautiful. But it's me when my hair was really short. But anyway, I just need to get over it. Aren't they super gorgeous? So if you want a tank top, put tank in the comments. And then afterwards, I can come back and I can send you some information and we can send it off. You just have to pay for the shipping and the tank. And what I do is what do I do? I put them in water and hand wash them. And they have a little bit of a sheen to them and they stay shiny forever and ever, right? I know, and the hat. Okay, so you can order the hats at my link tree on Instagram. You can get a hat, which is, so this is my new logo and this is my old logo, right? So you can get the hat and you can get the tank. The hats are 40, the tanks are 35. Why are the hats 40? Because, why are they more than the tanks? Good question. Because actually the cost of production for the hats is much higher than the tanks. And the hats, you can see that they have like a gold logo on them. So I went with gold instead of black or white, and it was a little bit more. Just being transparent. Direct message for all the details. Okay, Alita, by the way, everybody, thanks to Alita for being my incredible moderator. I am so grateful for her because she's legitimately just doing this from from her heart space. And it's so great. I'm so grateful to have somebody to come in to do this. Okay, you guys, are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? How do you like my wig this morning? Isn't it cute? You guys, I wanted to do Friday fun. It's like Friday fun day. I'm trying all these fun wigs because I'm growing my hair and my hair's a hot mess right now. So I know that it's a wig. I'm not trying to pretend it's my real hair. So don't come at me in the DMs and say, oh my gosh, I know that's not your real hair. No, really? I know. What is important though, is that I'm having fun. And also I don't care what other people think, to be honest. And I want to encourage you to do the same. This is one of the reasons why I do things like this, to encourage other women to just go for it. Just do the thing. Just do it. Like, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for somebody to say, wear the pink wig, wear the ponytail wig, right? They're not going to. You're not going to text somebody and say, oh my gosh, like as an adult, I'm 56. I'm not going to text somebody and say, hi, good morning. Do you have a minute to chat? And then we get on the phone and I say, I'm just not sure if I should wear my pink wig or my blonde wig, or if I shouldn't wear a wig at all because I don't want other people to have an opinion. We're grown adults here, everybody. Can we just make our own decisions based on what we want? So it's Friday and it's a fun day. And I was like, I'm going to do Uncommon Woman swag and the fun ponytails because I'm a grown woman and I get to decide what's happening in my own life. Okay, you guys. So first of all, I have to light my candle. So do you have your candle? Did I show you my gorgeous candle? I love these. Look at Jesus here. Like, what is that? It's his heart. It's his heart. And it says, Sagrado Corazón de Jesus, the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Friday, exactly. We should do Friday where everybody dresses up. That's a thing, right? Of course, I kind of dress up every day. Friday. So I got this candle when I was on my way to my retreat in Guatemala. Here's a super fun story. I had a private driver because you never know who you're going to get if it's just a taxi, right? So the people who hosted the retreat at their resort, at their retreat space, sent a driver over and his name was Charlie. Like, this guy's Guatemalan and his name is Charlie. I just love it. Anyway, so Charlie and I had a 4.5-hour taxi ride together, or car ride up the mountains into Guatemala, like volcano land. I'm not even kidding you. It was insane. Good morning, Rochelle. And so along the way, it was just beautiful. Okay. At nighttime, this is so pretty because it glows, right? So there were, I've been in Guatemala, and Guatemala grows flowers. They grow all kinds of fruit and vegetables, and they also grow a lot of coffee. Good morning, Shay. So here I am in this car with Charlie, my Guatemalan driver, and I'm like, whoa, stop there. And there are all these markets with pottery and really cool bright purses, and I'm like, stop there. But I wanted to buy a big bouquet of flowers for Andrea, who's my dear friend who was hosting the retreat in her space. And you can buy flowers there for so inexpensive. So I wanted to get her this huge big bouquet. So I have Charlie pull over to this stand that's like in this little store. It's really narrow and dark and it goes way back, but it was just like barfing flowers. Like there were flowers literally rolling out the front of the store. And there was this little girl standing there. Good morning, Donnie Tad. Good morning, Defining Dina. I love that you are all here. Thank you for being here. By the way, share this out. You guys, this is going to be such a powerful message this morning. I got some information for you that's going to blow your ever-loving mind because we're talking about women being a voice for Jesus. Okay, anyway, so I've got some statistics that you're going to appreciate. Okay, so share this out, tag people in the comments. All right, Charlie. Anyway, so we're at this store and I go, oh, Charlie, pull over. You got to pull over. Look at all the flowers. Like, I love flowers. My coffee shop is going to have coffee, flowers, fresh cut flowers, books, what else? And like candles, really beautiful things. I love beautiful things. So I'm going to sell them in my cafe. Anyway, and so he pulls over and I go into this little store and it's really long and dark. And the girl who's in there is just beautiful, right? Really dark skin, really beautiful white teeth. She's got this really gorgeous traditional dress on that they wear all the time. They wear it all the time. That's how they dress all the time. It was so amazing. And the thing is, you can't just take pictures of them because it's not kind, right? But they're like a picture. Everybody there looks like they should be framed. They're beautiful. They wear their traditional clothing because they haven't been hit by North American culture really yet, just a little bit, but not much. And there's colors and flowers and vegetables and coffee and their houses are painted all different colors. And it's just like a feast for the eyes, right? And so I walk into the store and there's all of these flowers, just like so many flowers. And I just stood there and it smelled like heaven. And I looked on the wall and there were shelves of these candles all the way around the outside of the room. So in the inside of the room, all the flowers, buckets with flowers, and all along all three walls. So there's three walls and the front's open. It's shelves of thousands of these candles and they all have different fronts on them. And I just went, oh, I love them. They remind me of Mexico because I lived in Mexico for 6.5 years. And people burn these in Mexico at the tombstones of their family members and they burn all year round. Like they replace them all the time. And so good morning, Joy. It's so good to see you here. Hey, Shay, Rochelle. And so I love them. They're so beautiful. And so I bought a whole bunch and I gave them as gifts to the women who came to my retreat. So when they went to their casita, which were a whole other gorgeous story, they had one of these sitting beside their bed. And I chose like purple and pink and they were like the Virgin Mary. Like they were all so dramatic. They're a little bit cheesy, right? Because, you know, we've got like Jesus with the halo and all this and he's got like red long hair, you know, but they're beautiful. Anyway, so I'm telling you all of that because that's where I got my candle from, right? So it's very special. I think I probably paid like $2 or $1 for it. Like they were so inexpensive. I would love to just order a monstrous box and bring them to my cafe and sell them because they're just so amazing. Anyway, so that's that. So this morning, we're going to talk about being leaders as women for Christ. Okay, so for the months of March and April, we're talking specifically here in the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry about being a feminine voice for Jesus. Now, if you were on the Uncommon Woman Ministry call last night, so if you're in my private space, the Global Ministry, we do every Thursday, we have a live call on Zoom. And we're studying the Bible, we're connecting. So last night was Bible study. And every second Thursday, we do a Bible study. And then the other alternating Thursdays, we do what's called a connect call. So we just come in and we talk about how we're doing, what's going on in our lives, how we're applying our faith, how we're applying what we're learning. It's a very communicative, open conversational space. It's really beautiful. And last night, we studied 3 women in the Bible, Mary Magdalene, the other Mary, who is Martha's sister. They were the sisters of Lazarus. Remember, Lazarus is the one that Jesus rose from the dead, right? And then we studied Martha. And so we had such a great conversation about what it means to be a woman who is a leader for Christ, because Jesus really loved the women around him. He respected them. He healed them. He made them leaders. He didn't diminish them. He didn't humiliate them. He treated them with respect. He defended them when other people came to criticize. I mean, you guys, Jesus loved women. So all of these messages out there that are about, women not being, women not having the right to speak up in faith is a lie. Jesus was actually sending women out on ministry. Do you know that Mary Magdalene was considered the apostle of apostles? What does that mean? Teacher of teachers. I'm not joking. So we need to remember when we hear all of this noise about women and leaders and women shouldn't be speaking about God and women shouldn't be standing on platforms and preaching, it's a lie. And I do not believe it, and I will not go into a church that feels that way because it's oppressive. And it's just part of the system. And I know that people who are in my world, who are close to me, are not going to agree. And that's okay, because you don't have to agree. You don't have to agree with me, because I certainly don't agree with you. I can love you, but I don't have to agree with you. And here's what's really important, is that when I looked up the statistics of how many women are leaders in the church right now, guess what the numbers were? Put them in the comments. And I'm going to open up my notes, because I don't want to lie. Okay, but I did a little bit of research this morning, and you are going to be mind blown when you see. Thank you so much, Sarah. Sarah is my moderator on Instagram. Thank you, Sarah, for moderating. I love you. You're amazing. Look at these ladies stepping up. You guys are so amazing. I'm so grateful. Okay, so what do you think the numbers are? What do you think the numbers are? Just throw it out there. I did a little bit of research this morning because I like to do research. I like to check things out and see what the latest numbers are. Percentage of female pastors and clergy. Are you ready for it? I'm so grateful, by the way. I want to say a few things. Number one, my parents are both, my mom is gone now, God bless her, but my parents support women in the church. And that matters to me. My mom, when she died, she was the chair of the board at their church. She held a position of leadership that was basically the decision-making position. 15% is exactly right. 12 to 13% of pastors globally are women, and about 15% of churches are led by women pastors. 1-5. In the US, about 20.7% of women are clergy. Ladies, this is for you. This is who I'm speaking to in these lives, okay? And our allies, the men who are in this community who believe that women should have equal rights. I'm going to tell you something, and this is not for everybody, and not everybody has to agree. But this is why I am here doing what I'm doing. Because we need more women standing on their own 2 feet, sharing the word. It is up to us to use our voices. Let's shift these numbers to 20, to 25, to 30, to 35, to 40, to 45, to 50. Can you imagine if 30 to 40% of women, can you imagine, let me rephrase that. Can you imagine if 30 to 40% of leaders and clergy and pastors in the churches were women by the end of 2026? How would that impact politics? How would that impact peace? How would that impact love? How would that impact compassion? How would that impact excommunication from the church? How would that impact domestic violence? How would that impact women being treated like chattel? How would that impact the world if women started stepping forward and saying, give me that book, give me that microphone, give me that stage? I have something to say about how women are supposed to be treated in the church and the voice of women in the church. Because we know, based on what we've read, that Jesus sent women out to do his work. Jesus respected women. Jesus loved women. Jesus gave women roles of leadership in his ministry. He did not put women aside and say, you can't. He can. In fact, the men used to come in and say, Jesus, why? Why are you letting her do that? Don't you see that that is not right? And then Jesus always just said, but she's doing what is right. She's doing what she's called to do. He always came in and defended the women. I love that about Jesus. I love that he didn't humiliate women. I love that he didn't use women as an example in a negative way. He used women as an example in a positive way. I think about Mary Magdalene. He healed her of 7 demons. Do you think that she was forever loyal? She sure was. And when she showed her loyalty and other people came in and said, wait a minute, he said, no, you don't get it. She's doing what she's supposed to be doing. She's doing what she is supposed to be doing, what you're supposed to be doing. You're standing over here judging her, and she's serving. You're standing over here complaining. It's like Martha. Martha was complaining because while Mary was sitting at Jesus's feet, listening to him, simply sitting and learning from him, because he only spent 33 years on that planet, and he only did ministry for a few of those. Do you not think that anybody who was smart would have sat at his feet and said, tell me more, teacher, great teacher, tell me more? And then her sister, Martha, says, Jesus, look at her. She's sitting there not doing anything, and I'm doing everything. What does Jesus say? Martha, Martha, my sweet Martha, don't you see that you're worrying about the things that don't matter? But she's focusing on the one thing that does. Right? You guys, all we need to do is one thing. We talked about this last night. You got to get into the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry. We have really important conversations. But one of the things that came up last night was that as women of God, we need to not worry about what we wear to church. We just need to get there. We need to not worry how messy our lives are. We just need to have an intimate relationship with Jesus. We need to not worry about what the other people at church think about what's going on in our lives behind closed doors. We just need to ask Jesus for forgiveness. We just need to ask Jesus if he will be in our corner, because that's all that matters. He doesn't care about your apartment. He doesn't care about your house. He doesn't care about your condo. He doesn't care about your car. He doesn't care about your outfit. He doesn't care about any of that stuff. You know what he cares about? Your relationship with him. That's what he cares about. Have you ever not gone to church because you couldn't think of something to wear? Have you ever not gone to church because you felt ashamed? Have you ever not gone to church because it was too long of a drive? I bet you'll drive 3 hours to meet some guy for coffee, but you won't meet Jesus at church after a 20-minute drive? Come on. We got to get our priorities straight. This is the thing, is that women need to start stepping up and saying, nothing is stopping me from going to church. Nothing is stopping me from getting in that seat. Nothing is stopping me from having an intimate relationship with Jesus. And if I'm in a relationship with somebody who doesn't believe in him, they're going to have to wait. Because he is my numero uno. And I promise you something. I'm single right now. And there might be a reason for that. I'm single right now because I will not date somebody who thinks and believes that they should be the priority over Jesus. If they can meet me in that place, if they can say, you know what, I'm inspired by your commitment, I'm all in. But I got stuff to do. We will spend hours getting ready for a date, but we won't go to church in the morning and get with our faith community because we're tired. We'll get up at 4 a.m. and scroll Instagram and buy stuff on Shein and Amazon. And then we're tired the next day and we're like, I'm too tired for church. I'm too tired to get in relationship with Jesus. I'm too tired to get in that room. where he wants me. He wants me to be in community with other people. He wants me to be an influence on the people in that room who might be struggling. Maybe there's somebody there who I haven't met yet who needs to hear my story about getting out of abuse. Maybe there's somebody in that room who I haven't met yet who has an addiction, and I need to tell them about how I broke free of that. Maybe there's a reason that I need to be there this morning, and I just don't know what it is yet. And it has nothing to do with my outfit. We need to get in the room. Jesus had 12 disciples. Why? Because community matters. And as women, I'm looking at these statistics going, give me one reason why we shouldn't be in the room right now. You know what's going to happen? If the misogynistic men who think that women shouldn't have a voice in the church are the only ones in the room, nothing's ever going to change. This is when I say to women, if you want things for women to change, you better go be part of it. Because I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to be. It's up to us. It's up to the women to go and be those people. Why aren't you in Uncommon Woman Global Ministry? Why aren't you in community? Do you realize it's biblical that we need to be in community and in communion with other people of Jesus? He says that. Get to church. Go be in the house of the Lord with other Christians. And yet here we are. We'll invest in Amazon and Shein and Starbucks, and we'll say $29 a month seems like a lot. You know what? If it's too much, then get your priorities straight. Because $29 a month pays for the platform. It's like paying for the building, right? There's a lot that goes into running a platform. There's a lot that goes into sharing the word every day. It's like your tithe. It's like your investment in your faith community, right? Like, whether you come in my community or not, it's okay. Go into another community. Go find a community that's free. But all I'm saying is, what's the reason that you're not there? That's what I'm talking about. Is it really the $29? Or is it actually that you just think that you're okay with Jesus on your own? Because Jesus wants us to be leading. Jesus wants it. Like, here's my goal. My goal in the Uncommon Woman Global community is to create voices so that they go back out and they build their own ministry. And I hope that they all leave the Uncommon Woman Global ministry and go start their own. I mean, I love you guys. I want you to stay. I think that as long as we're together, we're only going to get stronger. But if somebody said to me, you know what, I don't have enough time to do both, I would say, sister, you go do it. And I will be right there with you. Go stand on the mountain and share the word. But let me tell you, this statistic makes my stomach turn because we have got work to do. And we have things to say. Women have stories to tell about redemption. We have stories to tell about forgiveness. We have stories to tell about how we came up. We have stories to tell about how God healed us. We have stories to tell about, holy crap, I'm still standing. We have stories to tell about how we thought our breath was going to be taken away when that child died, when that husband died, when that friend died. But here we are. We have stories to tell, and they need to be told, whether you hit live on your phone or whether you go and grab a microphone during testimonial time at your church and you just hang on to it so somebody rips it out of your hands. We have got to get speaking about Jesus. Do you hear me? About 45% of Christians belong to churches that allow women to serve as pastors. Okay, so listen to that. About 45% of the Christians out there are part of churches that allow women, but yet only 15% of the leaders are women. So here's my question. Why aren't we asking to have the microphone? Why? I can tell you right now. Fear. And you know that I asked my minister, my pastor, if I could speak one day. And he said, yeah, you can. Now, I haven't pushed, but it mattered to me. I wanted to know that he was going to be okay with that, and I knew he would, because the co-pastor is a woman at our church. So there's him, and there's another woman, and he speaks more often because she's in the full brunt of motherhood right now. But we have a man and a woman at our church. That mattered to me. And I said to him, listen, if you ever need anybody to fill in, I'm here. And he said, absolutely. We have to ask. We have to go up to our pastors and the people who are leading our church and say, how do you feel about women in the church? And if they have a problem with it, guess what? You go find another church. I mean, I know that this sounds really radical, but here's the thing. If we don't say anything, we are supporting it. If we don't talk to these people and say, why? You tell me why. Because here's Mary Magdalene. Here's Martha. Here's Mary, mother of Jesus, the one who said, son, you go and you turn that water into wine, because these people need more wine at their wedding. And that was his first miracle. He didn't want to, but he listened to his mother. Why? Because he respected women. It is important for us to read between the lines. We can't just believe everything that we hear. We can't just say yes when somebody says, this is what it says about women. Have you ever thought maybe to go back and read the whole chapter instead of just that one line that they pull out? Somebody brought this up last night, Tina, in our class. She said, people take stuff out of context because they don't read everything around it. They just take that one line that serves them and they splash it out and say, this is why we won't let women lead. Stand on the shoulders of your story is exactly it, Alita. Exactly. So put a heart in the comments. Give me some hearts in the comments. If you believe that we need more women leaders out there speaking about Jesus, just let me know that I'm not the only one, because I know that I'm not. I certainly know that Pastor Kim, PK, those of you who know PK, Real Talk Kim, she's another one who's all in for it. Her father who passed the church to her did not believe that women should be pastors. Her father. Yet there she is. Why? Because she's breaking generational patterns. And she talks about it openly. This isn't anything that she hasn't shared. And he was a good man, but he was of a different belief and a different generation. And now there she is, and she has taken over the stinking airwaves. Whew! Won't she do it? Talk about extremes, right? This is what we want to do. This is what I want to do. This is why when people come onto my lives, I'm like, please share this over. Please tag people. Please let people know about Uncommon Woman, because we are doing the work that other people are afraid to do. We are getting up there and we are using our voices, and we are talking about Jesus, and we are talking about God, and we're talking about Christ, and we're talking about resurrection, and we're talking about miracles, and we're talking about forgiveness, and we're talking about repentance. We're talking about things and using language that nobody wants to use for fear of upsetting somebody. And we're upsetting the demons. Things are getting shaken up. It's getting juicy in here, but let me tell you something. Won't he do it? Because there's a whole community of us that are standing shoulder to shoulder. I think of Connie Mannering in Sarnia. She's starting Limitless Ladies. She's got a whole church going in there, her and her husband. Isn't that beautiful? Women are starting to step forward and say, wait a minute, I'm actually good at this. People are actually listening. There's something that I've said and people are coming back. I remember when I was doing these lives and there were one, maybe two people on there, right? And I just kept going. And today we've got 14? I've got 9 and 5. Do you understand how, to me, that's like 5 million people, because there was a time when women couldn't do this. There was a time when women didn't have access to this kind of truth. There was a time when women couldn't even get a credit card. And that wasn't that long ago, by the way, BTW. There was a time when women were not allowed to have their own home and own technology and hit live and talk about their faith publicly. That was not that long ago. So dang straight, we're going to get out there and start using what we have now, because life is this long and we have work to do, sisters. Yeah, I want to inspire you. Yeah, I want you to move. Yeah, I want to shake the tree a little bit and get you thinking. I want you to question people when they say things like, women shouldn't have a voice in the church. Instead of saying, I disagree, why not say, give me one good reason, because here's what I know about Jesus and women. Let's have a conversation. Because Jesus loved women. He sat with them. And I love the way that people try to twist it up and make Jesus sound like some kind of a perv. No, actually, what's really interesting is that Jesus just honored the other half of the population that his father created. That's it. But because people want to twist it all up, they're like, oh, Jesus must have had an affair. You know what? Jesus was just a good man. He was just a good guy with a good, clean heart. Why do we have to make it more than it is? You know why? Because when people make it more than it is, it serves them. It makes the women look like bad women, and it makes Jesus look like some kind of a pervy guy. And then all of a sudden, they're like, and that's why women shouldn't be speaking in the church. Do you know that Mary Magdalene was one of 4 people who stood at the foot of the cross when Jesus was crucified? Because he healed her, she was loyal to the end. The disciples, -1, all fled because they were afraid of being associated, because they didn't want the same treatment that he got. But where was she? We talked about this last night. Where was she? Right there. Unafraid, because she'd already gone through hell. And she was willing, a woman, 3 of his greatest supports when he was dying were women. His mom, his aunt, and Mary Magdalene. There they stood. We need to not take this lightly. Women matter in the church. Women are compassionate and loving and caring, and we see things from all sides, and we want people to heal. We want people to feel loved. We want people to feel included. We cook meals for people. Why are we the only ones cooking the meals and teaching the Sunday school classes? You know, it's okay for us to be back in a room somewhere reciting the Bible verses to the kids and teaching them what they need to know about Christ when they're babies, the information that stays with them for a lifetime, but we can't give them a microphone and talk to adults? Are you kidding me? Don't those children become adults? Make it clear for me, because I don't understand. It's okay for us to cook the food that feeds the people in the church. It's okay for us to be there hours ahead of time, preparing the food, preparing the room, organizing everything, keeping the church together. Thank you. But we can't have the microphone because men? Give me a break. That's ego if I've ever seen it. I got no time for it. 0. Goose egg. And I know that it's tradition from way back. And so was slavery. There's a lot of things that are inappropriate, that are old, that have no space and time anymore. Spanking. It's out. Because people started going, maybe adults shouldn't hit children. It's a tradition that's not popular anymore. If you're in a restaurant now and you see a parent spank a child, half the room goes crazy. Why? Because it's hitting a child. It's out. It's not popular. It's considered child abuse now. And I'm not here for people to come up in my DMs, okay? I'm just using this as an example. Just because cigarette smoking, cigarettes used to be advertised as something that was good for people. Think about that. Cigarette smoking was was advertised on television and in magazines that was cool and sexy, and it got you dates, and it calmed your nerves, and it was a thing to do to relax. Well, all we know is that it kills people. And all of a sudden, it's illegal to have a cigarette in a public place, never mind advertise it. Point being all of this. My dog's throwing up as we speak. Bless her little soul. Here's the thing. Just because it was okay before doesn't mean that we need to accept it now. That's right, God-led evolution. We get to change things. We get to set things straight. We get to say, no. Maybe before, but not anymore. One sec. She just threw up all over my couch. So I'm just putting something under her. Bless her little heart. Don't worry, she throws up often. This is the thing about Chihuahuas. They have very sensitive little stomachs, and about once a month, she stops eating for a day and then she throws up. I don't even understand. It's a whole thing. Examples of ways that women can lead. Write these down. Example of ways that women can lead. So maybe you're somebody who's saying, yeah, but Romy, I can't just walk into my church and say, hey, I want to speak next Sunday. I can't just walk into my church and say, hey, I'm here, give me something to do. I'm a woman and I want to have a bigger role in the church. Right? So here are some things that we can do. Yeah, she's okay. This is normal for her, Myrna, but thank you for asking. Yeah, first of all, she's old. I give her really good food. I basically give her what's called like raw food. So she gets really good food with like no preservatives in it. I give her the healthiest food on the planet. She's just a Chihuahua and they have really, really, really sensitive systems. Every once in a while, she just stops eating for a day and she throws up and then she's fine. It's so bizarre. Okay, examples that women can lead. Ministry leadership. You can start a ministry. How? By hitting live on your phone and saying, I just decided to have Alita Ministries, right? And Alita Ministries is a ministry of faith for women or for people. And I'm going to show up every Sunday morning, or I'm going to show up every Thursday night, or I'm going to show up every Monday through Friday. And I'm going to just start talking about what I know about Jesus and about the Bible and about the transformation in my life. That's one way. You guys, that's what I did. Uncommon Woman became Uncommon Woman Global Ministries. And what that meant was, hi, Michelle. How are you, my gorgeous friend? How's your baby? You guys, if you're on Instagram, say hi, Michelle. She had a beautiful baby boy last year. She owns a spa here in the city. She's just such a sweetheart. So Uncommon Woman was my empowerment platform for 10 years. And then last year, after being at PK's event and being rebaptized and then wanting to go into my faith a little bit more, I decided to build another leg of it for people who were like me. I don't ask anybody to be in it who doesn't want to be in it. I'm just like, listen, this is where my faith is going. These are my roots, you guys. Like, I took my first steps in my parents' church. My parents planted a church in Thunder Bay, okay? So many people don't know this about me. But my parents moved from Texas to Thunder Bay and planted a church in Fort William. It's now a big dental office. They sold a building about 15 years ago. But my parents planted a church. I took my very first steps in that church. And I have a cute picture. I'll put it up. I think I have it on my fridge. I'll put it up today if I can find it. If it's not on my fridge, I'm not one of those people who normally puts pictures up on a fridge, but it was actually a picture that my mom had in her office. So I kept it. That's why it's on my fridge. But those are my roots. Vacation Bible school every summer, sitting in church Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night, most of my youth life. Going to ISCF, right? InterVarsity School Christian Fellowship or something like that. It was for teenagers and like, that's my life. So me doing this work is not a big shock for a lot of people. And some of the people who are in my world who have known me for years have said, and of course, we were just waiting for you to kind of like get back on track with that. So anyway, my point is Uncommon Woman Global Ministry was built from my already existing platform. So if you're in the Uncommon Woman, which is my Facebook group, that's just everybody. Faith, no faith, it's my empowerment space, right? And you can go there by going onto Facebook and then just looking up Uncommon Woman. Okay, it's just Uncommon Woman. It's a Facebook group. There's like 2,500 women in it. But then after last year, I was like, I think I want to start a faith ministry for women because I wanted to be cool. I don't like faith and God and Jesus and all of this stuff was so uncool for so long. Everybody was like brown polyester pants and like really stinky people and like lots of dandruff and I don't know, just like, it just like nobody was cool in that space except for my parents. I have really cool parents, actually. My mom was like the glam jam at our church. She took so much heat for that. She always dressed up and wore big earrings and gloves, and she got so much criticism because that was who she was. And she's like, yeah, but where I'm from, she was from California, this is what people do. They don't dress down for church. They dress up for God, right? They don't try to be super conservative and hide. They're like, here I am. And so I was like, this is what I want to create in my world for the women in my world who are like, wait a minute, maybe you and I have a little bit in common. Maybe I'm kind of curious about my faith too, but nobody around me will talk about it. And I'm kind of afraid. I don't want people to judge me. We know how people are about religion. I am not religious. I'm pro-God. It's different. I am not affiliated with any one church. I will not affiliate with a church. I just affiliate with God. That's my, God is love. That's my thing. It was funny, Charlie, my driver in Guatemala, said, because we had this really great conversation in Spanish about God. And he said, I told him about my ministry, and he was like, oh, really? And he said, what church are you affiliated with? And I said, none. And then we had an incredible conversation about how churches and religion are destroying the world. How everybody's so divided because of it. And Charlie, who's in like a super Catholic country, and I were like on the same page, right? It was really cool. I loved it. I loved it so much. And of course I was thinking, oh my gosh, what if I have a conversation with Charlie in the middle of the mountains about the fact that I'm not affiliated with the church and he dumps me off because he's super Catholic? But instead he was like, no, you know what? The Catholic Church, the Anglican Church, and I am not criticizing the people. I'm criticizing the systemic, what's the word? Hypocrisy in many of these systems, especially against women, right? Okay. Oh yeah, I have to go back to the examples of the ways that women can lead in the church. Hi, baby doll. I love you, sweet. Aren't these fun? Right? It's Friday. This is what we're doing on Fridays up in here in the Uncommon Woman Global. Everybody go follow Baby Doll Martin. She has her own ministry, she and her husband. Oh my gosh, they're doing incredible work in Dallas, Texas. She also has Limitless Ladies in Dallas, and she just launched it, and it's amazing. So here's another example of a woman who's stepping into ministry. We were just talking, Baby Doll. You might know the statistic already, but I want to share this with you because you're one of the people who's actually changing the statistic. Did you know that only 15% of ministry is led by women? 1-5. Globally. So I'm on here talking today about how women need to grab the microphone, hit live, Get up and get going for God, because 15% is not okay. It's not okay. So Baby Doll Martin is one of those people who's actually changing the game, right? Okay, another way that we can lead as women in ministry is by missions, doing mission work, going and supporting people in communities that need support, because women are incredible at nurturing and loving and healing and holding. We're great at cooking. We're great at healing. We're great at bringing people together. We're great at communicating. Women are great at mission work. When I was in Guatemala, I met quite a few women who were doing mission work there. And guess what? A lot of them were retired. They were retired women who were coming from corporate or coming from nursing and they're like, I've always wanted to do mission work. And they thought, instead of sitting around golfing, and I love golf, but is it really how you're going to spend the last 30 years of your life? Just golfing? They were like, I actually want to do some work. And so they were doing mission work in Guatemala with children and women. It was incredible to see, right? So mission work. Another one is children's ministries. One of my Rose Gold leadership clients, who's actually now the Uncommon Woman USA regional director. Her name is Kelly Etheridge. Baby doll, you should connect with Kelly. She's amazing. She's the president of a big tech company in the States. And she's now my regional director, and she's based out of Sparta, Illinois. She is an incredible woman, and she has taken on Uncommon Woman Global Ministry USA. And when the reason that she and I got talking about faith, it's so crazy how these things work, is that she said to me, Kelly Etheridge, yeah, you guys, it would just be a great, she'd probably love to come. I bet you she'd love to be part of your Limitless Ladies, because she's just starting ministry. She's just starting in ministry in the US. And she's like just sucking up all of the great stuff. And of course, connections are so good. But anyway, she said to me, I want to start a children's ministry. I want to support teens and young adults because they're lost. I'll do an introduction, okay, baby? I'll do an introduction. For sure. I love her so much. She was in Guatemala with me. You guys are like the same. You're woven from the same cloth in that you're both just like pure love. Pure love. And so, okay. So she said to me, I want to do children's ministry. And I was like, that's amazing. So one of the things that she wants to do for Uncommon Women Global Ministry in her community is provide support for teens. Because she's like, everybody's drinking and everybody's doing drugs and they're so lost and kids need support. And I was like, women are the best to do that. No? Because we're nurturers and we are graceful and we're inclusive and we want everybody to feel safe. So that's another one. So we got ministry leadership, missions, children's ministries, discipleship. This is another one. Just go and support somebody. If you don't want to lead something, if you don't have time to build something, if you can't do a mission right now, somebody like Alita, who's been here being my moderator, and Sarah, who's being my moderator, like that's an example of discipleship. It's like, I can't do this right now on my own, but how can I support you? See, that's what Jesus had. Jesus had disciples who walked with him and supported him and found food and resources and places to sleep. They were kind of like his bodyguards, kind of. Right? Like he had fishermen, and those fishermen, you got to know that those fishermen were like these dudes, right? And they were walking with Jesus and they were helping him in his ministry. That's discipleship. Discipleship is like being a student of the teaching and also supporting. So that's another way. It's a great beginning, right? It's so important to put feet to your faith, 10 toes down, and actually support other people who are getting the message out, if that's not your jam right now. Because I know that it's scary, and I know that there's unworthiness, and I know that there's all the feelings that we feel. I went through it too. I had to break through that in order to hit live and say, I've got something to say about Christ. That took a lot. So I get it. So if you can't do that right now, maybe you're coming into my Legacy Business Masterclass, because in that masterclass, I'm going to help people get through some of those things. You just got to get through some of those things. And I will help you move from, I don't know what I'm being called to do, to I'm building a legacy. Because that's what I did with Uncommon Woman. A legacy is a business that continues after you're gone. Remember, we talked about this yesterday. There are 4 characteristics of a legacy business. 1, it's aligned with your values. 2, it comes from your whole heart. 3, it's profitable. It's a business, not a hobby. And 4, when you die or when you're gone, it will keep going. That's a legacy business. So if you come into Legacy Business Masterclass, which starts April 6th, I'm going to teach you how to do that because I've done it with Uncommon Woman and now I'm doing it with Crush Coffee, right? Because Crush, you guys, if you pull back the curtains of Crush Coffee, it's just a ministry for women. It really is. We're empowering and employing women in the coffee industry because the coffee industry has the same statistics that ministry has. 15% of people who own coffee farms are women. That means that 85%, let's flip it, 85% of the power is in the hands of men. And guess who works in the fields for the most part? Depending on where they are, the women. And guess what? The women get paid 40% less than their male counterparts for doing the same job. That's why Crush Coffee exists. So I'm building a legacy business with Crush and with Uncommon Woman because it's important. Women's empowerment and women having a place in this world that actually has an impact, not just, oh, we're good at shopping, but actually we change the face of the world by the work that we do. That's my goal, to provide more women with spaces and opportunities and platforms. That's why when we come into the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry calls, I say, everybody open up your microphone and talk, because I want you to start talking about your faith. I want you to start having a voice. I want you to start understanding that when you speak, other people listen. I want you to know that I don't think I know it all. I want to learn from you because I'm just a baby here in my faith. I want to know what you have to say. It's really important for me that you have a say about your faith. If I don't have you opening up the microphone on my lives when we come into the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry calls, am I really helping you build your voice? Am I really helping you build ministry? That's why for March and April in the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry, for our Connect calls, which is every second Thursday, I'm doing a workshop on how to use your voice to activate your testimonial. We're actually doing speaking workshops in my Uncommon Woman Global Ministry group because I know that one of the reasons that I've been called to do this work is because the work I've been doing for a decade, I can now apply to this, which is helping women activate their voices. That's what I've been doing for a decade in Uncommon Woman. A big part of what I do with women is help them activate their voice through courage, confidence, clarity, community, and communication, my 5 C's. I've been doing that for 10 years. So for those of you who are in the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry, the private ministry membership, just know that in 2 months, you're going to be like, boom, hit live. I have no problem doing this because I have my testimonial up here. Because one of the biggest things that stops us from speaking is not knowing what to say. So we just take all of that away. I just say, you're just going to say the same thing all the time, just different versions of it. Because what we really need is for you to just start speaking. So let me help you. That's what I do. It's one of the things that I do in my coaching work. And, I have a program called Seats to Stage. I actually take women from the seats to the stage. That's my professional speaking program. I do that. Why? Because more women need to be sharing their stories. And when it comes to faith ministry, more women need to be giving their testimonial publicly. Like, I can tell my testimonial to you guys. You've all heard it. I can tell my testimonial to PK. I can tell it to my dad. I can tell it to my friends. Everybody's heard it. Who do I need to be sharing my testimonial with? Really? The people who've never heard it. Or the people who need to hear it again and again and again. Good morning, Joni. Right? Okay. And then the last one, prayer ministries. So what I'm doing is I'm naming different ways that you can be a leader in faith, in Christ, building ministry. Number 1, ministry leadership. Number 2, missions. Number 3, children's ministries. Number 4, discipleship. Number 5, prayer ministries. Last night, every Thursday, hi, good morning, Reagan. You found us. Yay. Last night, at like 11:30 at night. I was like, oh man, I'm supposed to be doing a prayer call in the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry in my little private membership group, because every Thursday, on Tuesday or Monday, I can't remember which day it was, I put up a post in the group and I said, if you want me to pray for you, put it in the comments and I'll come in on Thursday and pray. And so yesterday at this is an example of integrity. I said on Thursday at some point, I'm going to come in and pray. I didn't give a time because I just said, I'll just do it when I can, but I will. Last night I'm in bed, lights off, and I went, ding. I forgot to pray for the people who put it in the comments. So did I not just get up, put my light on, get my tripod, put a hat on my head, get my little devotional book that I love, and I hit live in my group and I said, I almost didn't show up, but here I am. And I'm praying for those of you who need prayers over you, because I know that it matters to you. Because if somebody asks me to pray for them, it's because they believe in the power of prayer, right? So here I am at 11 at night. You guys who are in my ministry, you can go in and you can see the prayer. And did I not just pray over that family? I was like, be with these beautiful people. Prayer ministry is really powerful. So you can start a prayer ministry. You just pray over people. You can do it privately as long as you do it. Don't say you're going to do it, not do it, because that's not integrity, and God knows, right? Or you can have little groups. You can meet on Friday, or you can meet on Saturday, or you can meet on Sunday. You can do it with people. And you can just start a prayer ministry. You know how many people need prayers right now? People feel so afraid and so lost. And then teach people how to pray. Say, come and pray with me for you. If, you know better than anything your relationship with Jesus. You know better than anything what's going on in your life. You come and pray with me. Let's do it together. Start a ministry. Women need to get out there. I love you, but he loves you more. And he needs us. He wants us to hit live, to start the ministry, to be a voice. These statistics are not okay. And I hope in 1 year from now that I open the same thing up and I go, ooh, baby, it's up to 25. Because have you seen what's going on? Have you been paying attention? Because we are rolling, sisters. Our roar is rolling. We are ready. And women are stepping in like mad. And somebody like PK has a huge impact on that. She's got a big platform and she's encouraging women to get out there and use their voices. And guess what? It's working. And I found that inspiring. And so I want to do the same. I want to encourage you to hit live, because she encouraged me to hit live. Right? I want to encourage you to get in the room and start speaking about your life. This is me hitting live on your phone. Okay? Listen, you guys got to get into Uncommon Woman Global Ministry. We are doing some really great stuff right now, especially around this work about women leading, about women being voices for Jesus, about women actually saying, no, I don't agree with all of that gross, yucky religious stuff. Actually, women do get to have a voice. Actually, if you go back, Jesus loved his girls. He had a whole crew of women around him that he absolutely respected and adored and held up. And those women went out and did ministry. Okay? So this is what we're doing for the next 2 months in the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry. And last night's call was fire. And for the women who were on, they know. We learned about Martha, Mary, and Mary. I also said, if you don't know somebody's name in the Bible, just be like, Mary? Because there's a really good chance it is. Her name is Mary. But we are learning so much. Like last night, I learned so much. Because as we're studying, we're learning. You guys, I'm not all knowing. This is new for me. But I'm all in, 10 toes down, putting feet to my faith. I am going to be great at this, dang it. If it kills me. So go to Uncommon Woman Global Ministry. So go to RomyMarlowe.com. And you can join Uncommon Woman Global Ministry. You can come in for a month. If you don't like it, if you're not getting anything from it, you can leave. But I'm going to tell you this much. I'm doing a workshop for the next 2 months in there that I used to charge like $5,000 for. My Seats to Stage program was $5,000. for 3 months. And I'm going to teach you guys to do the very same skills, but just, I'm only going to have what, 1, 2, 3, 4 hours with you over the 2 months. But you will walk away being able to share your testimonial with courage, confidence, and clarity. That's what we're doing in the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry for the next 2 months. So if anything, just get in there for the next 2 months. Go to romymarlowe.com and sign up. And sign up for the Legacy Business. Here's the thing about the Legacy Business Masterclass, is what I'm doing is I'm sharing with you things that I've learned over the last few years. I've never done this masterclass before because Uncommon Woman wasn't always a legacy business. Only in the last year and a half has it become that. When I brought on regional directors, when I started a global ministry, faith ministry, now it's a legacy business. Because I know that by me supporting women, sharing their testimonials, by me supporting women who simply maybe are not women of faith, but are just going to go out and share their stories, which is what I've been doing, there's a ripple effect that will stay long after I'm gone. The women who are in my Crushing It Collective, most of them came to me through speaking programs, and it changed their lives. And now they're building businesses. Now they're building something that aligns with their values, that comes from the heart. Do you see how it works? Once we get rolling, we can't stop. Okay? So we've got Uncommon Woman Global Ministry. We meet every Thursday at 7 p.m. You can go to romymarlowe.com. We've got the Legacy Business Masterclass. It starts April 6th. Okay? 6 steps to building a legacy business, all the way from what am I called to do to setting up to be legacy. Okay? No messing. 6 weeks. romymarlowe.com. It pops up as soon as you go to my website. Then there's the Crushing It Collective, which is my group mind for women who are building businesses. And we do business together all day, every day. Okay? We meet twice a month on Zoom, but we stay connected in a WhatsApp chat between that. So those are the 3 things that are happening right now. Okay? So the reality is that you can be in my world for $29. You can be in my world for $149. You can be in my world for $349 for the Crushing It Collective for 3 months at a time. I mean, these are all low-hanging fruit. I have women who are working with me one-on-one. You can be with me one-on-one. That's a different conversation, but you can DM me and say, hey, I want to fast forward my business impact. How do I get in your space? Can I work with you over a month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months? Generally, I do 3, 6, or 12 because it's in that time that women actually see outcomes. But sometimes people just need to come in for a month. They've already got something started. They're like, I just need to make an adjustment. I can do that for you. I love you. I honor you. Stay on Common. Have an incredible day. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to my moderators. Thank you, Sarah on Instagram. Thank you, Alita on Facebook. I love you. You guys are incredible. You're such good examples of what it means to be in ministry. It's so important to have community around us when we're doing this work. So this means everything to me. And if you want an Uncommon Woman tank top, I don't even know what my hair looks like at the back. It probably looks awful. I didn't even look. You guys, isn't that terrible? Because it's a wig, right? Obviously. And I put it in ponytails. I went, okay, that's cute. I didn't even look at the back. My mom always used to say to me, you need to look at the back of your hair when you're doing your hair. She used to always say that. And stand up straight, which is probably why I have really good posture. We'd be walking. Anybody else have a mom that would do this? My mom and I would be walking in the mall or walking down a sidewalk. It used to drive me crazy when I was young. But now I'm so grateful. Oh, I'm going to tell you a really cool story about my posture, but one sec. My mom always used to walk behind me and say, stand up straight. Like, I can't even tell you how many times that she said that in my life. Stand up straight. Stand up straight. She would just say that, stand up straight. I'd be like, right? Okay, you guys, I have one story about good posture. Who knows who Elizabeth Gilbert is? She wrote Eat, Pray, Love. It was a book. It was a movie, right? The magic book about creativity. I can't think of the name right now. Okay, she's like an incredible author. She's amazing. She's from the States. Who knows Elizabeth Gilbert? She's like incredible. Anyway, I was at an event about 6 years ago with Elizabeth Gilbert, and a friend of mine had invited me, so I went. and Elizabeth Gilbert was there because my friend was one of the keynotes. And so Liz Gilbert was actually on the Big Magic. That's what it was, Big Magic, an incredible book for women in business who want to be creative. It is so good. So I love Liz Gilbert. Like, she is incredible. She's an incredible, peaceful soul. She has an incredible story, right? About how she was married and then she left her husband to marry her hairdresser, and then her hairdresser died of cancer. It's like all this whole thing. Anyway, so I'm at this, you guys, this is so great. And then I'm going to go. I was at this event with my friend, and we were in the VIP room, which was up in this suite. Okay, so we're in this big suite at like the top of this hotel. It was a big conference. It was like a 3-day conference. And I knew that Liz Gilbert was going to be there, amongst other women, Tarawa Trent, Liz Gilbert, a whole bunch of names. I can't think of them right now because Liz Gilbert was the one that actually I cared about the most. And so we walk into this room, and there's probably 30 women in there, and it's like a cocktail hour VIP thing, and it's the speakers and their guests, all right? And I walk in to this room. I actually have a picture of this, but I don't have a picture with me and Liz Gilbert, but I have a picture of me at this event. Anyway, so I walk in, and I'm walking through the line, okay? I'm walking through the line and for cocktails and snacks and everything. And Liz Gilbert's in the room. And you guys, I love her so much. Like, I did an Eat, Pray, Love trip for my 50th birthday. And if anybody's been around long enough to know that I remember when I went to Europe for 1 month by myself, and it was my Eat, Pray, Love trip. It's because I loved Liz Gilbert so much. I did Spain, France, and Italy for my 50th in 1 month. Okay? True story. That's a whole other thing. People, there's so much you guys don't know about me because you're new. Anyway, so Liz Gilbert's in the room. I'm like, oh my gosh, there she is. There she is. Oh my gosh, there she is. Okay. So I'm like getting my snacks and everything. And I look over, and Liz Gilbert's looking at me like this. I almost died. And my girlfriend says, oh, she's checking you out. Because I don't know if you know, but Liz Gilbert is, I'm not sure if she's bi. Doesn't matter. Anyway, she left her husband to marry a woman, okay? So my friend's like, she's checking you out. It's kind of funny. And I was like, I'd marry Liz Gilbert in a heartbeat. Like, it was hilarious. Anyway, so joking, of course, but it was funny, right? Like, we have fun. Come on, we have to have fun. Everybody's so serious all the time. Anyway, so I'm like, oh my gosh, Liz Gilbert's checking me out. You guys, I'm not joking. She got up from the table, came over to me and said, you have the best posture. I'm not even, you guys, I can't make that up. You know what I said to her? I have good posture because my mom used to tell me to stand up straight. And she said, hi, my name is Liz. And I said, hi, my name is Romy. And she said, nice to meet you. And she walked away. You guys, I'm not even joking. She said, you have great posture. So now whenever I talk about Liz Gilbert, I'm always like, she thinks I have great posture. Is that like super fun story? Anyway, so you know what? Stand up straight because you never know who you could meet. There's the moral of the story. Okay, guys, I got to get going. I love you. I honor you. Stay uncommon. Thank you so much for putting up with me. I hope to see you in the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry or in the Business Legacy Masterclass, which is going to be a mind blower. And also, or Crushing It Collective. See you on the socials. And we'll be here Monday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard for more of this. Love you. Have an incredible, incredible day. Thank you, my moderators, Sarah and Alita. Love you. Bye.